Hello, everyone. My name is Big Real Monk. Nice to meet you all today. And in, in these days, I just lost my job and I need to find another job in Japan. And I got to the website that is a job hunting website and just told you how to find a job in Japan, and then told you the experience about the job about how to find a job. And I think that experience is very helpful, and I practice a lot. And I finally find that find a job in Japan is kind of like a game. You have a game guidebook, and you if you do like that game guidebook, you will easily to find a job in Japan. So today I want to talk about the experience that I had in Japan, and just to share it to other people, and just to use it to practice my English expression. So let's just talk about how to find a job in Japan. So the first of all, you have to make a very clear self-introducing, and just to sell yourself to the company, and to the corporate, and want to make the company have the interest about you. So the self introduce is very important, just to make a story that about how your life in Japan, and how your job experience, and what you can do, and what you good at, and use a very short time just to make them to have a hard to have a expression, deep impression, and just to feel what it's you, and what you are. So that's what is very important in Japan, and it's also important maybe in China, or in England, or in America and USA. That they all, this thing is all very important in all the country. That's called self producing. You have to make yourself like a product, and make this product seems to be very attractable, and makes the company want to buy it, and want to take it to his company, and get a very good um, feeling, and get a very a good experience to just with you. So I think that's very important for the people, just to do something about the self introducing producing and you use the self introducing, and to make self producing, and make yourself to become a valuable person, and just to show the power that you have, and make the people to like you, make the makes the HR to think you are very important, and you have to work in my company. So that's the first point. You have to make a very good in self introduce, and don't make it too long. And in the interview, if you make a too long self introduce, some kind of make them get boring. So every time you will need time to practice how to make your speaking, how to make yourself introducing will be more attractive, and maybe make it, in a very um, structive way, and make it to become a story, and the story will have a hero, and will have how a hero is growing up, and something like that. So after the self introducing, and the HR, or the one is in charge of the hiring, he will ask you some of the question. And in the question, that's the most important point is just to say your conclusion at first. Make your conclusion go first, and then don't make it too long, because people doesn't like to hear people to speak too much. So if you have a conclusion at first, and you will make them okay with what you're saying. If you are not make your conclusion at first, maybe they don't know what you are talking about. So the conclusion should be very clear, and in some kind time, and you have to pay a lot of interest about the people that is just interviewing you, and you have to do some kind of company research, and make a little bit a very short report about this company and make this company think you really want to go to their company. And that's some kind of thing that's about your expression. So make this way to make the company to like you. It's just like that you would do in the in to find a lover, some kind of like that. You first you have to produce yourself and try to make this people think you are valuable, and then you have to show a lot of interest about the, the the other people, and that will make the company will choose you and first of all you have to choose this company and the company have to choose you. So that's what we call that job hunting. And if you want to find a job in Japan, you have to always think about that, and it shows that you have no negative thinking and you are very very good at just want to have a future vision about how you go to this company, and you are very very work hard and just to change your life and something like you we want to career up and something like that, all the things that happen in your life. So if you are showing that image to the company, some kind of your practice will be useful for all the talking um, in the interview. So, well, that's a second point. Then you have to have a very good self-introducing, and you have to have a very good interest about that company, and you don't speak too much. You speak first. You first speak the conclusion, and some kind of like this way, and will make you to become more adorable for the company. But it will not just make. And finally, if you can or cannot go to the company, it's just depend on some kind of fortune. Sometimes you just do your best. And I always think that if you go to interview, the first you don't need to remember so much things. You don't to write the article and remember it at all. You just need to practice your your pronunciation and some kind of like your nuance and something like that way. You just need to repair that, and the other is not that important. So if you have some kind of this kind of preparation for the interview, every time you will have a very good experience. Or even you cannot get the job, but you will get, okay, I will try the next, and I know what I was trying to do, and um, seems to be getting a lot of experience. This interview is not going well, and I just get the experience for the next. And when you get more and more interview, you will more and more knows what the HR wants and uh, the what's the company wants, and then finally you will get a good job. So I just want to I want just want use experience about finding a job and just do some kind of English talking, and to see that did I still use English well. Um, and I've in these days I have a very good experience about how to use English. When I go to the hospital and I ran into a Russian people and Japanese. They are talking about to go to a clinic, and they just cannot make each other understand themselves. So they are just use translation application and just trying to make their will to be understand. But finally it's not that easy. So I just go in there and just use my English and just use my English to translate the Russian's English to the Japanese hospital. So finally I just make the Russian people knows that this clinic it's not a place that's used to the cure all the disease. It's just a rehabilitation for the hospital that you have heard in that hospital. So not all the clinic do all the disease in Japan. The little clinic they can only do some kind of their professional disease in the field. So if you have to first to know what kind of disease you have to go to a very big hospital. So when I say that, maybe the Russian person, the Russian people, they know what I'm talking about. So finally, they're not getting more and more complicated, and they just get out, and just the thing is over. So this kind of experience is very important for me, but I will feel that my English is still cannot use a very right vocabulary to just say what I want to them to know. So the practice is still you still need a lot of more, you still need to remember more vocabulary, and just to listening to more English expressions. So finally, I think if you want to learn English in Japan, you really need to work harder than the others. Because if you go to America, if you live in USA, you will have the environment about the English. But in Japan, you don't have the environment, and you don't use the vocabulary. Even you can speak English, but some kind of thing that you just don't not seems to be very native, and you just make that grammar some kind of it's wrong, and you are using the vocabulary is wrong. You tend to use some kind of a very easy word to just express yourself, and use gesture, and then some expression about your face and something like that, and you forget to use the exactly correct vocabulary. So some kind some kind of that just make you some kind of you want more, you want to learn more English in Japan. So that's what I feel, and that's what my experience in these days. So um okay, so I was talking about my experience in job hunting, and some kind of experience in the hospital. So today's talking is it's over. So see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.